found that out by now and might have adjusted, gone for a little bit thicker brake disc or a little bit more cooling. So yeah, it's pretty epic, and it sounds a bit of a cliche, but I think we're in for a very exciting race.
And Ed, how are you keeping?
Good. I apologise because you said, how do you feel after your pro race? And I thought, oh, the one I was commentating. No, obviously the one that David was driving.
Yeah,
so that was completely on me. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, in terms of how I feel, yeah, it was a great pro race. Great to see Jesse Latin and finally get off the, who was in World Championship last season, of course, finally get off the mark and get his first victory. But yeah, it's very, very tight in the World Championship standings at the moment, at the very top with Zeuuw, who obviously had such a great start to the season, having a bit more difficulties in Bahrain, finishing, as we see Ruben Machete absolutely clobber both walls at turn 3. He's pinballed off the optimalica of the inside wall to the outside wall, so first lap is done there, and they're going to need a new front wing, and there's Zeuuw also testing the limits. As you would expect at a street circuit in a World Championship, everybody is desperately trying to push as hard as they can to get any millisecond they can. In fact, 6th place in the pro race was, I think, decided by a 0.062 of a second. So I wonder if we're going to see similar margins of victory and error, not just in qualifying, but at the end of the race itself then, as Mounier currently fastest in the first sector.
Yeah, very impressive stuff. So this was one of the community voted rounds. It finished 3rd in the poll, but it gets to appear first to suit the calendar structure. So if anybody voted for it and they have a bad time today, then they'll probably regret their decision. But yeah, that's
only narrowly got in as well.
Yeah, by one vote. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, I think Sepang was also neck and neck with it for a while, and a couple others. So yeah, it was of course Baku, Monza, and Silverstone. So Silverstone will be the next one up after this, and yeah, Monza's near the end of the season, just after Spa. So yeah, they're sort of more or less aligned with as close as we can to the real life races, as we see a few more times coming in, and Zeuuw to the top of the standings, 136. But that's immediately beaten by Mounier, who's gone nearly 4 attempts quicker.
Yeah, Loic Mounier has a lot of ground to make up after DNFing last time out in Sakir. So yeah, this is very important for Loic's championship ambitions. The castle section has tested Janos Brashok very significantly there, but remarkably he's still going, and you'll have to try and figure out a few extra tenths, perhaps down the start finish straight, the 2 kilometers start finish straight. You'll have to find a lot of time. Down the hill he'll go for the 2nd sector. Let's see if he can stay on target. 29.0, that's okay, but yeah, you'll hope for a little bit better through the flat out section here. So once you're released, it's all about the stamina on your right foot. Can you keep it flat to the floor all the way to turn 1?
Yeah, and of course Janos 2nd in the championship, after equal with Mark Schluter, of course, as he goes 5th fastest, 137.156. This is important for him to keep the pressure on Alex Zeuuw. And if Zeuuw can get a bunch of his MV conquest, his teammate, of course, Jan Grankvist, but also Mounier and Brilliac in between himself and Braxok, that could be very key to have that sort of defensive buffer. And there's a man, our reigning champion, who is was on having a bit of a better race in Bahrain, I think it's fair to say. Obviously, he had to have that late stop for the soft tyres and was able to come through to 4th in the end. And he's been very, very consistent this season, yet to win. It definitely feels like the competition at the front of the field has gone up a gear, and Mark Schluter has definitely been tested to his absolute limits then for his new ground effect team. So, yeah, best result so far, 2nd in Australia, if memory serves, at the very beginning of the season. So Schluter, desperate to taste victory, tasted it 5 times last season, and we are getting to the halfway point in this season. And Schluter, of course, under a little bit of pressure to turn things around as he flirts with the walls either side of turn 15 there, and desperately needs to get himself in at least into the top 5 with this first flying lap with 4 minutes to go.
That's certainly a bare minimum, but up for Ruben Machete to make up after his previous bump in the barrier. But now the world champion has to prove himself. He knows the pressure's on, doesn't want to concede the title until the very last, if it must be the case where someone else gets to take over for him. Across the line, and it's P2. Very nice indeed. He massively gained in the 3rd and final sector, but but Loic Meunier still has that 0.3 of a second advantage as we switch over to Jan Grankvist, another very strong contender through the ALM team. Let's see who he gets. Oh, he's actually crashed in the castle section. Sorry about that.
Chris, it wasn't your fault. You didn't crash.
I know,
Although,
I did.
also brushing the wall on the exit 15 there.
Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. But now his teammate Alex Zeuuw, he is probably delighted to get rid of Bahrain from his agenda now, once and for all. He does not like that circuit in any circumstances. So at least the P5, he'll feel like a successful venture. So now that he's at a circuit that I'm sure he does enjoy, he's going to push with everything he's got to try and maintain his 11-point lead at the top of the standings. No improvement to be found there. He stays P3. And Borljak has a lot of experience here at Baku. He was around back in 2019, the previous.
He was the runner-up.
Yes,
in 2019
he
last time we were
finished.
here, of course.
Yeah, he finished P2 for Edge Esports back then. Oh, another incident at the castle, and yeah, that was Jan again, was it? It was Brashok, beg your pardon. So Brashok straight out with 2 minutes 35 seconds to go across the line. It's Canzonieri. Time can improve. No, I think that final sector actually cost him a chance to enter the top 10. He has to dig out another 4/10 in the Valley Esports car to make himself known in the top 10 standings. We're waiting for Amine Suisi and Saba Elikes to set their lap times, so hopefully they'll get they're well underway at this stage. So we'll look at Suisi first as he crosses sector 2, and it looks okay. Should be perhaps in between Tucson and Canzonieri if my estimates are correct, but we'll wait and see for certain.
Yeah, I've got a lot of sympathy for Zabraleki's Nando Massa, and of course Giuseppe Canzonieri, who of course was doing pro earlier. They're all drivers doing double duty, much like I'm doing today. So as we see, crossing the line comes Sweezy up to P14. So yeah, they're going to have some three very tired drivers and one slightly tired commentator as well. Admittedly, we had a crash with the pro stream, so I did get a break in the middle. So anyway, one name you might not recognize to some of our new viewers is Kian Golshayan in the Mission 19 Velo on Supernova car, which of course the sister team to Soppen and Soppenen's main Velo 1 GP team. And of course, interesting thing about Kian is he's a real life, he's a Dutch driver, and he drives in real life Master MX-5s in the Netherlands, also for Europe as well. So he's obviously one of the bigger name signings in the team that you're very proud of, as he's using the wall to sort of slow the car down at 10:15 there. Can't afford to do that too many times in the race because it will eventually impact the suspension and the steering. We saw quite a number of pro drivers, including Marsa himself actually, had a very, very tricky run where the car was had to go into the pits multiple times for repairs then. So just over 30 seconds left to go in the session. Golshayan not looking like he's improving on this run. And Moynier looks like he's in the pit, so he doesn't think he can go any faster. It's now all down to Schluter, Laho, Grankvist, Brulyak, Braxuk, whether any of them can challenge for pole in these dying lap of the qualifying session.
Yeah, and that turn 3 entry. He's actually hit the wall. I was just going to compliment him for narrowly missing the wall turn 3, but he hit the inside barrier heading into turn 4, so that's going to cost him a little bit of time. Perhaps if sector 2, a more tactical part of the circuit, works out nicely, then yeah, there's still time. So 42.6, he's down on his best time, so he'll have to figure something very special out here to make sure sector 2 is significantly better to make up for that slight disappointment. Borljak is doing pretty well in the first sector, but then Jan Grankvist, he's looking strong in the middle sector, so we've got chances abound. That's too heavy for the suspension to deal with. So let's focus now on Jan Grankvist to try and get ALM MV onto the front row of the grid. Can he do it? Waiting and waiting. He can finally lift off. And he's done it, P2. But Meunier, happy enough to watch from the garage. He's still on pole. And Schluter realizes now he's got to have to fight for his first victory of the season on the second row of the grid. Borljak looks like he's going to cross the line, but he might be down on his time. Yeah, he doesn't improve, I'm afraid. So that will be 5th place for Patar. Not at all bad. And Murno has fallen down at the last second there. I didn't see who actually pipped him. But fair play to whoever got it. Quite spot. Yeah, I have to
Was
study.
it Salagianis in P9?
Yeah, it
You've
could have
just
been,
got it
yeah. George
in the
might have got
second
the
ground
job
effect,
done,
yeah.
yeah. But Canzonieri, not going to let him be ignored any longer. He's got to find 3/10 or more. And he actually found 2/10, so not quite able to improve his. Only got one position there. Sorry, Marza lost out there to Canzonieri at the very last second, so not enough for the top 10, I should say. But yeah, it's a beautiful day in the capital city of Azerbaijan, and it's Loic Meunier who has secured a very impressive pole position ahead of Jan Grankvist, Mark Schluter, Alex Lahou, and Petar Brolyak in the top 5. So how did you think that went, Ed?
Well, I think there's a good number of drivers that
I know,
we
yeah,
also
we'll
got to
get
remember.
them
Well,
as well.
in terms of the session as a whole, yeah, Mounier setting really the marker time down, and much like he did at Bahrain, securing pole position, nobody able to quite match it. Although Grankvist getting within 2.5 tenths is a mighty effort. Don't forget, Loic Mounier, a Super League champion in a certain other open wheel rFactor series.
Indeed.
So, and Jan Grankvist was also in the Super League in the same category, of course, a year before. So, yeah, definitely some good efforts there. Schluter, of course, with his final effort, was able to go third fastest, which didn't look too promising for us. I think that's a very good recovery drive from Schluter. And, yeah, Lahou down in P4, and with Braxock down in P7, top 2 in the title hunt, a little bit lower down than they would expect. But, yeah, Mounier, after so much bad luck in Bahrain, has got a great chance to sort of put Bahrain behind him and hopefully put his bad luck behind him as well, and maybe challenge for victory.
Yeah, so Osamale 6 and 7 with Ruben Machete and Janos Prashok. Christian Pasquale, George Elogianis, and Lucas Murno complete the top 10. Oh, great job for all those guys. And now on to page 2. Giuseppe Canzonieri for Valley Esports gets the 11th place, snipping ahead of Nandor Marza at the very last second. Matthew Toussaint follows his teammate in behind for 13th position. Saba Alakas for Severn Arrows is ahead of Amine Suisi. So they are the drivers who occupy points-paying positions. Juho Sopnan and Keen Gol Shayan are 16th and 17th for mission 19. So they have a chance to try and avoid some of the carnage that could come, whether it be through the barriers gobbling up some of the cars, or else, as David alluded to in the build-up, the tire strategy is going to be a big unknown, knowing how these brakes can be exceptionally hot around here. So many hard braking zones, particularly in the first sector. You have 90-degree turns wherever you look there. Before the castle section as well, I'm sure that's a place to watch heading into the main event here, Ed. So yeah, let's see how it goes after all the build-up for this first Azerbaijan Grand Prix in 7 years.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting then. It's just weirdly in the middle of commentary getting messages from on the pro drivers. But anyway, yeah, it's certainly going to be a lot of challenges. We even saw some of them in the pro race. I have to say, for Juho Soppanen, it's not going to be ideal starting that far down. But I'll be very interested as well to see how Maciej Sandak, who's filling in for William Snowden, gets on. I believe he will be 80. He didn't take part in qualifying. I believe he'll be starting 18th and last on the grid then. So that will be really, really a good thing to keep an eye on. What I was going to say about Juho is that I feel like he's a terrible look so far this season. You think of that first lap of Japan where he was sent into a flipping frenzy multiple times over, and I think he did continue a little bit after that, but the car was too badly damaged. So yeah, I think Juho Soppanen has got the right sort of fighting spirit. We've been commentating him in other series, and I nicknamed him Super Soppanen because he's not necessarily got the best luck, but always fighting, always trying to get he's an underdog, and you can't help but like him because of his attitude. It's just always really, really positive. So yeah, I think everybody, even the other teams, some of them might be privately, I think, rooting for Juho to sneak into the bottom end of the points here. And there's every chance that with Baku being as chaotic as it is, being such a challenger on the engines as well as the brakes, we saw a couple of cars overheating, particularly anybody that spun at the castle section in the early laps had to let the whole field through. They really found the engines overheating and becoming a major problem there. So yeah, this is certainly unique. It's been off the calendar for 7 years, so not all of the FSR field unnecessarily used to it. So there is that to keep an eye for. But yeah, they'll learn from the pro race. The other thing we saw as well was that hard tire was actually very difficult to get up to temperature. That other teams preferred the medium and the soft. So we could see a number of drivers, particularly near the front of the field, going for the softs to try and pull away from the rest of the pack, or going for the mediums and sort of playing a bit more safer to try and keep the soft runners in sight and then pick them off when the softs start to wear round about sort of somewhere between lap 12 and 16, you would expect, depending on how good they are at managing it.
I just got some info in our YouTube chat to say Maciej Sandak did get a time registered.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah, but he fell off our leaderboard because he disconnected just at the wrong time. So he's back in the cockpit for the warm-up session, so should allow Maciej to have a chance at the Grand Prix itself. Here's a look at our championship standings in greater detail, with Alex Zeuuw 11 points clear, but his first drop score of the season allowed Janos Brashok to seize the initiative as he overtakes the world champion Mark Schluter on the tiebreaker of having a win instead of a second place. And then it's very compact there between Jan Grankvist, Petar Burliak, and Loic Meunier as well. Meunier, the only driver in that top six to have a DNF to his name so far, so that certainly explains why Meunier, despite being so impressive in the first two rounds, he has dropped a little bit behind. But then William Snowden, there he is in P7 for 7 arrows ahead of Amine Suisi, Nandor Marza, and then Matthew Tucson as well. Nandor has the 7th place from Japan that helps him on the tiebreaker against Matthew there. So still lots and lots to be claimed in this World Championship.
And Nandor Marza, of course, Matt Tucson's teammate, but because he was competing in pro, we've got that, and we've had a couple of issues. That's still the old graphic, so it's technically correct because it is the ground effect team, but it is the Invictus team that Marza drives for in the World Championship, of course. So apologies for that. Sort of left over from pro, I guess. And also good to have William Snowden, who's obviously not competing in the race because Sandak has qualified his car in 16th, I believe, ahead of Soppinen and Golshayan. But yeah, Snowden's still watching in the chat, and we're very grateful for him. So hello, Will, and we hope you put on a good show for you, or at least a competent one.
We hope that his replacement doesn't outshine him too much, I suppose.
Well, I mean, 16th on the grid. It's closer to the back than the front, so he's got to go at least one place harder getting the points. But yeah, it's going to be very, just as we're going to be focused on the sort of top 6 battle as we tend to be. There's also going to be a very fierce battle at the bottom end to just stay in the race and score as many points as possible. So you're absolutely right, David. I think Will be, for the team's sake, cheering him on, but from a personal point of view, hoping that he doesn't get overshadowed.
Yeah, and starting 16th here, there's big opportunities because the walls will claim quite a few victims. So I think from 16th, you could do quite well.
Indeed, then. All right, Owen, do you have a topic of conversation we can talk about to fill while they're filling up the grid, or is now a good time for ads?
Well, the grid is now sorted. I think we're just going to show a brief ad now for Grid Finder, and then we will be ready to go to the race. So this, I think, is going to be one of the most fascinating races that we're going to have with regard to tyre strategy, because I don't think we'll see the hard tyre. I think we're going to see a lot of 2 stops, and we're going to take the guys to the grid now.
Very good. So without further ado, let's grid up and get this fascinating race underway. 51 laps is the traditional lap counter here at Azerbaijan. So there you are. After the 10 minutes of qualifying, we're on to the 51 laps in the race itself. So we'll grid up in just a moment, and our formation lap underway as well. They'll help the drivers. They'll definitely need to mind their temperatures. They've got to make sure everything is spot on heading into the first 4 corners at the very least. There are plenty of overtaking opportunities with the 90-degree left-handers and then 1 right-hander as well before we get into the nitty-gritty at the castle section. So yeah, can't wait for that.
I was just chatting to Owen about some of the unique aspects of this circuit that are going to make the race really exciting. And one of them is late in the stint, the balance changes really suddenly for these on these tyres. You go from a car that's quite neutral to a car that's really, really oversteery, and it seems to happen in about a lap, particularly at turn 1 and turn 3, where the brakes have cooled a lot. Just a bit of trivia for you. We start at the 2 kilometre home straight with the front brakes at about 1,000 degrees, but by the time they get to the start finish line, the front discs are at 100 degrees, well outside their operating zone. So it takes a bit of magic to stop really, really well for turn 1. And while the front discs are cooling, the rear tyres are overheating due to being on full thrust going dead straight for 2 kilometres. So it's a magic act to make it all work well for 51 laps. So we're going to have some excitement.
Yeah, so thanks as well to Thomas Lands, who's stepped in short notice to help us with the broadcast direction. So we appreciate that very much, Thomas. So hopefully our levels on the sound are all okay. Run down our formation lap as they get through the third corner now. There we go. Great overtaking point if you can get your exit out of the second turn spot on. Now sector 1 will be completed for our drivers in just a moment here. So there you have it, running safely along to make sure these temperatures are all in order.
Yeah, not sure if we're going to be able to get the grid graphic.
Yeah, we might have the correct grid graphic.
Yeah, we can run through the grid as only 18. Well, I say only 18. They're quite a bunch.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, I suppose we've half the lap done. It's Loic Meunier on pole position ahead of Jan Grankvist on the front row. Mark Schluter and Alex Lahou, very high caliber drivers, waiting in the wings on third and fourth positions. Petar Broljak and Ruben Machedi, 5th and 6th. Fourth row contains Janos Brashok and Christian Pasquale. And the top 10 is completed by George Zalogianis and Lucas Murno. And Giuseppe Canzanieri, Nandor Marza, Matthew Toussaint, and Seba Elikez, 11th through 14th. Amine Suisi, Maciej Sandak on the 8th row. And then last but not least, on the 9th row, we've Juho Sopnan and Keen Gol Shayan. So very fascinating to see how they get on. Keen has just entered the pits. Yeah, it's a pit lane start here, so that's what he has to do to
Could
comply.
be a good call. If he was at the back anyway, may as well. And also, if there's a bit of chaos, then he won't be on track when it happens, or he'll be on track after it at least. So a bit of time to react then. So yeah, but for Meunier, this is a great opportunity to sort of get his own back. And Grankvist, who will know very, very well, will be very, very keen. Obviously, they're both MV Conquest affiliated outfits, but ALM MV and the main MV team have got a bit of their own rivalry going, particularly in that team's championship. So Schluter from third will be hoping to spoil the party, but Loic, if he gets a clear run into turn 1, he's going to try and control this race, and be fascinating once we get halfway through the first lap to see what tyres they're all starting on, because I think David may have got this absolutely right. A couple of mediums at the back and a mix of a couple of softs thrown in there as well. No hard tyres.
Yeah, that will make sure these temperatures are able to be built up. The hard tyres were not very welcoming, even in this beautiful sunny day with 22 degrees ambient temperature, 45 degrees track temperature. But here come the lights, the third, fourth and fifth lights, and away they go. Looks like Loic has a solid launch, and that leaves a bit of trouble for Jan Grankvist, but he's able to defend, and around the outside goes Schluter. But now Alex Lahou down the inside should have track position. Watching around there for Petar Broljak as well, sliding all around the place. I think that might be Zalogianis and spot about
Big slide.
Big
yeah,
slide.
Pascal losing control there through turn 2, so you lose a couple of positions for Squire Nation eSports on softs as well, I believe.
Yeah, and now Gol Shayan is entering the track well away from everybody else, so keep an eye out for that white dot on your screens there on the bottom right track map. And Schluter has lost that third position. He's going to fight hard to make sure it doesn't get any worse, as of course Ruben Machedi has soft tyres on board here with Schluter. Yeah, he's got the medium compound ready to go, so that should help him get a bit further into the first stint. Oh, close with that curb impact, but it worked out just fine. And looking in behind the world champion, Machete is just about 4/10 behind. And he's hoping to break that latest possible moment into turn 15. He decides to back out. He has a good sweeping apex there. And down the hill they go to enter turn 16. And then the full blast to the start-finish line. Yeah, it looks very good for Machete. But Munier has pulled over second clear in just this first lap. The soft tyres are a wise choice, at least for this particular moment, Ed.
Well, it means you can build up a huge gap in that clear air. But yeah, Machete is starting to line up Schluter, and he needs to make these moves on the soft tyre as soon as he can for Ottomale. The sparks shower out the underside of the cars. They run as low as they can to get as much downforce as possible, but it is Machete up the inside into P4. So Schluter, he's been passed by Loho at the first corner on lap 1. At the start of lap 2, he loses another position there. So the reigning champion up against it, but the mediums, he's got to hope, will come into their own a bit later on. What's also interesting here is that Braxok, despite starting on the soft, has actually fallen behind Brilliac. So he's got slightly more ground to make up than he would have hoped. So our man second in the championship, we talked about Schluter losing positions, but Braxok as well is the one that really needs to get a move on in these early laps as well. But yeah, for Moynier, he's got that 1 second gap. So we saw, I think, Latinen had like a 2.5 second gap at the end of the first lap in the pro race. So Moynier trying to match that, falling about a second short. But yeah, Grankvist, for his sake of his race, will try and keep him in sight for as long as he can and hope that the mediums can hold on and wait until the softs fall off the cliff in front of him. But yeah, Moynier, very good at time management. So we'll have to see when exactly that happens, because Oswisi Soppinen just about making the castle section and in the final points paying position. So Yo Soppinen, crucially for him, surviving the first lap as we see Machete really attacking the curbs at turn 15.
Yeah, so P15 for Soppinen is worth 1 point upon crossing the finish line or getting classified. So Schluter is in DRS range to try and gain that 4th position back off Reuven Machete, and wait for the actual DRS zone. It's got to come to you now, so he can activate the rear wing, and he'll hope to at least close the gap somewhat. The sparks continue to fly from the rear of Reuven, but now it's all about the exit of turn 2. That'll make a difference. Oh, look at that wiggle from Reuven Machete. Almost lost control into that scary turn 1 barrier, and that'll definitely give a bit of confidence. But Ottomale will be pleased to see Braxok doing well also, but watching and waiting to see if Schluter can come closer. No, he won't be able to overtake from that range. But the wall, oh, again, Machete is teasing those barriers. You don't want to get any closer than that, especially with the soft tires. You've got to watch their durability later into this race.
Yeah, so the key thing for our top 3, Moynier, Grankvist, Loho, is that, of course, with Loho getting past Schluter, that means that there's a medium run ahead of Reuven Machete, who would be the next immediate threat to Jan Grankvist. But the fact that he's got Loho in between his teammate means that Alex can sort of try and do his teammate, who's not a direct threat in the championship, at least not yet. He could close in at the end of this if it finishes like this. But yeah, it might be in Loho's interests to hold up Reuven Machete as much as he can, particularly through the castle section. Down the back straight, as we see the ground effect of Schluter again taking a lot of curb there to try and keep Machete in sight, and crucially to keep Brilliac also on the mediums. Oh, is there a spin in front of them? It's Reuven. Machete dropped it coming out of turn 16.
Yeah, one dare too many.
Front wing's gone.
And the front wing has dislodged itself. And that will have to be a long wait. You can see on the track map, he's going to have to perhaps wait even for Cian. Go shine. Yeah, there goes Cian now. So he can finally back up safely without interfering with anyone else. But yeah, yellow flags in that final zone. So let's check out the replay. And yeah, the rear's already going on him. So watching. Someone must have hit him here. Yeah, so
Braxok got the squeeze through. Oh, and Zalgianis hit the wall.
Yeah.
So it was a horrible position because he was right on the racing line. He sort of had to get out of that one. But yeah, Zalgianis was a little bit the unfortunate victim. Still going in P9, so he only lost, I think, 1 position to Pascal in all of that. Although Canzonieri has overtaken Master, is now right behind him and going through as well. So I think Zalgianis might be in more trouble there as we see the valet driver squeezing past him. And now Master and Zabraleckis both want a piece of him as well. So the Greek man Academy champion of 2022, is certainly up against it now, and very much the innocent victim in all of that. But yeah, Machete, his bad luck continuing with that crucial mistake there, really undoing his charge and allowing Brylyak past Schluter as well into P4.
And so Reuven is second from bottom in the championship. I suppose he get DNF'd in 18th at Melbourne, so that keeps
And that's
him
another
above
DNF,
top.
so he's retired.
Yeah, he's gone. So 2 DNFs in his 2 appearances so far this season. That is a terrible outcome for him after such a strong qualifying. But Amine Suisi, though, for 7 arrows, he's got the belief that now that he's in the points, he can actually double his tally against Super Soppinen. And there we go. He's just in the final range of the DRS activation if he can just stay smooth. Yeah, looks pretty strong to me out of turn 19. Yeah, he's definitely gaining as Soppinen's dramatically slower even before DRS. So he's probably hoping to do a slingshot when the DRS will go in his favor. So easy as you like for Amine. Absolutely no problem there. But it's all about the reaction from not only the Tunisian driver who's got ahead, but also the Finn who wants to re-overtake. And Brylyak using that knowledge from the 2019 event where he got the 2nd place. He's got the chance now to defend from the world champion, and he's forming the other queue. So this is great news for even Lucas Murno there in the Optimal hosting car. So let's see if Lucas Murno can also make an impact in this fight for best of the rest. But the podium drivers are comfortably clear after just 5.5 laps.
Yep, and again, it's almost like a double situation because Brylyak can hold up Schluter and prevent any of this group from being a threat to Loic Mounier. And then we got Crankfist and Loho now basically fighting each other about 2 seconds behind Mounier, but they know they're basically on a different strategy, having started on the mediums, whereas Mounier on the soft will inevitably have to pivot earlier. So Brylyak effectively help create a gap that Mounier can pit into later in the race here, provided, of course, that Schluter is not able to get past through him. And then, of course, we've got Braxok as well, with a teammate out of play, the leading soft tire runner in this race then. So again, being behind 2 is a pivotal. How is he can get through and get the train for both Schluter and Braxok on this lap.
Yeah, Reuven has just appeared in our YouTube chat to say his DNF was game crash related, so it was out of his control about what happened there. So terrible luck there, Reuven. I'm so sorry.
I went back to watch Reuven's pit entry, and it was very much a Smokey and the Bandit kind of pit entry. He was locked up sideways at 145 kilometres an hour, about 10 metres from the pit limiter line, but managed to cross the pit limiter line at below 80k, but at about a 45-degree angle. So it was pretty hot and heavy. But maybe a computer crash can cause that.
Yeah, so anyway, David, I'll just ask you while we have this brief moment. So, with the absence of hard tires, is this race kind of going the way you expected? Soft tire for Mounier looking very strong, but will Jan be able to reel him in by the time the scheduled pit stops come around?
Yeah, very much so. It was saying before, basically when the pendulum's going to swing the way of the medium tire, I think the soft tire runners will have it all their own way for about 11 laps, maybe 12. And that's when the crossover occurs and the medium tire will become faster. And the soft tire runner is going to need to probably run 16 or 17 laps to make it all work, 18 at the outside. So the last 3 or 4 laps on the softs aren't fun, because the rears tend to balloon a bit. They get overpressured and over-temperatured because of all the hard acceleration zones. And so yeah, that's what I think will happen. And the medium tires runners are going to get in the zone. I mean, Granquist, we're 7 laps in. He's only 3 seconds down, so that's less than half a second a lap. So the softs aren't giving a huge advantage, and that advantage is going to be over in about 3 or 4 laps.
Indeed, yeah. We just got a quick look at the replay of Reuven entering the pit lane, and yeah, you can definitely tell that car was not in his control at all. So that's the way it goes. But now on board with Nando
Make the pit limiter but nonetheless.
Yeah,
with
He
the
did.
wall.
Yeah, he was on the pit limiter, I suppose you could say that. But yeah, that turn in was just totally unfathomable for anybody who would have been in command of their own senses there. So yeah, I can understand it was game over for that from that point on. Nando Marza here, currently sitting in 11th place, and with the soft tires, he'll want to start to make them count now, as we're getting perhaps. Oh, he does hit the barrier on the right-hand side of the castle section. So yeah,
Dancing
this
blow.
is about the halfway point of an ideal soft tire stint. So yeah, this is a great chance for him to slip into the top 10 if it's all possible. But now Schluter has even more pressure from soft tire runners, and it's none other than Janos Brashok has the absolute thrill of being the most recent winner 2 weeks ago at Sakir. So his chance to enter the top 5 is perhaps within moments here, Ed. So will he go down the inside? Yeah, it looks
Almost
like
certainly. There we go then. Very simple, easy to light. You could sort of see him setting it up the previous lap as well. Schluter tries to lay on the brakes just to stick with Braxok coming out of turn 1. But the damage is done there. Braxok sits a 1:41.245, his personal best lap of the race. And Loikman is sitting 1:41.1, so good. So starting to ease up slowly. I know Grank is sitting 1:41.2s as well on the mediums in P2. But yeah, everybody in a range in the 41 somewhere, regardless of what tyres they're on in our top 6 here. So starting to pull a little bit away from this time now that they're not being backed up. But yeah, Grant for energy to work, he may have to do a bit of tyre saving.
Yeah, you have to perhaps back off a little bit to make sure the tires last long enough. But on board now with Schluter in his ambitions to rebound immediately. He knows that the DRS helped Janos perform so rapidly into third sector. That made a huge difference in the overspeed. Hitting the curbs hard into turn 16. But now trying again through the final set of corners that require some braking. And again, yeah, he is within range, narrowly so. It's just on the bubble, so he needs to be nice and quick here. And should be possible to at least latch on to the back of Brashok here. And the Automale car, yeah, it will be far enough ahead before DRS can make a significant difference. But now on to lap 9 for these drivers. They will start to bring out the calculators and start to use their heads a bit now that they can have a rough idea of how their race is going and what they need to do next to make it best case scenario. But yeah, we're still on board with Schluter, and he's not going to make this overtake just yet.
Crucial though, Braxok. Oh, sorry.
All I was going to say was one of the things that opens up the strategy here beautifully, apart from the fact it's very low tire deg, which means we can, see a lot of the use of the soft tire, which we haven't seen much of this season so far. The other two factors are we've got a really lovely long straight with a nice DRS, quite a generous DRS section. And the third thing is total pit lane transit, if you really nail it, is about 19 seconds. So, yeah, you've not got to do a whole lot quicker lap time for 15 or 20 laps to win back 19 seconds, really. So, makes it all very, very interesting, and we'll see it sort of wax and wane, and it's going to all come together over the final 5 laps, really, to see these guys are all super quick. It's going to be who's got the best tyres in the final 5 laps, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And also looking further back, news for Dave, because Amin Sweezy and Mathieu Sam both gotten past Soppinen, who's now fallen to about 11 seconds behind them, as we see Pascal about to do battle with Lucas Murner and breezes through for Sky Nation eSports. So Ross Scott will be happy about that one. Here's talent driver up to P7, just lights the rear tyres for turn 1. The softs on his car in maybe not as good condition as Christian Pascal has kept his. Pascal, I think, playing a little more cautious in the early laps, and now that's gone to his benefit at the present moment then. So Murno, the Brazilian, will have to be quite cagey here if he wants to get back into the top 7.
Yeah, I suppose the rear view cameras on both those cars, it was impossible to tell any significant degradation between the two of them. Yeah, look almost identical. Maybe just on the fronts, maybe Lucas has been pushing a little bit harder, and now he's starting to lose some lap time. The question is, yeah, can he now prove he's capable of keeping up now that he has the chance to gain slipstream in the straights, but also the dirty air in these kind of chicanes that make it very difficult to follow. So he has this chance to gain a little bit of boost against Pasquale. And now got to brake hard here, but now at the top of this queue, Berliak has a chance at Alex Zeuuw. Alex has been a bit slower. That last lap was a 142.3, and Petar put in a 141.6. So that's a big swing in favor of Petar, and he's just outside that 7/10. He might get it there. No, he's just narrowly missed it. But this is a big moment in the race here as Zeuuw. He's got to cross the line and hope. Yeah, it's another 7/10 of a second gained for Petar here. This is very, very important for the Croat to get this opportunity while it comes to him.
Yeah, an enviable position for Pep Berliak, a runner-up and a former champion in 2016 FSR Championship, of course, as well, because he's got Zeuuw sort of fallen into his clutches, getting DRS from the back of him now, but he had to push on because Braxok on the stop was also catching him as well. So you see Zeuuw just flirting with disaster again out of turn 4 there, and our championship leader starting to feel the pressure again, sliding on the exit through turn 6. He's got Berliak, of course, on the podium for the first time this season, last time at Bahrain, and of course Braxok, who is his closest challenger in the points, apart from Schluter, of course, who's Braxok in P2. Now starting to close in on him here. So this is exactly what Braxok would have been hoping to see in front of him. Zeuuw falling into his clutches. But of course, if the mediums start to work a bit better than the softs, as the softs decay as this stint goes on, then Braxok's advantage will disappear as well. So Berliak will be keen, and Braxok has got to position himself well to try and follow him if that happens.
Yeah, so definitely Zeuuw has been pushing those track limits to the edge. You can see how hard he's cutting those apexes to make sure he can complete the corner the way he wants to. So yeah, I know the track boundaries are determined by these walls, so that will avoid any significant corner cuts at the likes of for here, for example, yeah, turn 1 you can't cut it whatsoever without getting hit by a wall. But now Berliak, he's got his chance for the second time in quick succession. I think Zeuuw has found a bit more pace again in the low 142s this time, but the DRS may just help Berliak close the gap without being able to overtake necessarily. Oh, there's the top of the wall this time. So Zeuuw, last chance saloon here. Hopefully that rear right suspension isn't too badly knocked out of place. So yeah, this is another chance for Petar to apply the pressure. He prefers that later turn in at the turn 6 right-hander, and that certainly has helped him to stay within reach of the championship leader.
And have you seen what's just behind Petar Berliak? Janos Braxok actually has DRS on Petar. So these three guys are fighting very, very closely. And in the meantime, Loic Meunier has driven a blinder of a stint. He's still the fastest guy on the track, having just done a 41.498. So he hasn't read the script. His soft tyres are supposed to be going off a little bit by now. So it's been a fabulous drive by Meunier to pull that gap and still be going so quick on the soft. And as we speak, Meunier is pitting, just entering pit lane now.
Well, this is earlier than we would have projected, to be honest. But yeah, that makes sense if he's happy.
Here goes Berliak.
Oh, good pass there from Berliak. But Zeuuw! Oh, and he's tagged the Epic Conquest around. Oh, it's a horrible moment there. That's definitely a mistake under braking. And that has changed the podium scenario significantly here. And Meunier will be surprised to see his teammate. He would not have anticipated this whatsoever.
moment there. So Lowe just a little bit caught out by how much earlier Bruniak had using the DRS coming into turn 1. And the sister teams, not exactly teammates, but definitely sister MV affiliated teams, hitting each other there. So Laho could find himself potentially in a bit of trouble at the end of this one for that maneuver. Either way, it's let both Braxok and Schluter through past him as well. So some good luck for Janos Braxok after a tricky start to the race. He's now suddenly in P2 with Laho hitting trouble and quite literally hitting Bruliak and Monnier pitting from the lead.
Do you think that when they read the updated rules about inter-team cooperation on the circuit, basically meaning that sister teams can't help each other, do you think they took that a little bit too literally?
Be as obstructive, collision heavy as possible, yeah.
We'll show you not helping each other.
Yeah. For ground effects in racing, though, on the other end of the scale, George Zalgianis has DNF'd, so he's the second driver to fail to finish at the early stage 02. Quite important names are gone from this race, so it means Ian Golshayan has a chance to score a point if one more driver retires and he makes it to the end. But now Christian Pasquale makes the overtake on Lahoo, who comes into the pits, certainly red-faced. He's got to get there. Oh no, and late on the brakes there for Pasquale. The excitement of making the overtake has gone to his head a little bit, and Murnau has gained 2 places in a flash here, so that's fantastic news for Optimal hosting to have another boost to their morale with Murnau still on the soft tires, looking pretty strong. We're waiting now for Lahoo, most likely to repair the damage to the front end of that car. He's gonna perhaps just pop out.
He's still sitting stationary.
Yeah. And Golshayan's out. Actually, as I say, Golshayan is out of the race, so Soppinen may have a chance to overtake the championship leader here. It's going to be close according to the radar. Yeah, it should be. Soppinen ahead. It's a long stop here for Lahoo.
Just moving now. Lahoo just moving now.
Yeah. So it's going to be a soft tire stint. So he's going to have to push those new softs extremely hard to make up for this lost time. About 40 seconds in the pits, if my maths are correct. We have a very, very long delay for the championship leader. And now Jan Grankvist is in the lead there. But Brašok will have a great chance as well to try and make back-to-back victories all of a sudden. But now Soppinen, 2 points in the bag for him. He's made the mistake on the replay there. So that's probably what's delayed him even longer. But he still has position on the circuit ahead of Lahoo for a little while longer. Now this will happen to Zalogianis.
Looks like him and 1-7 hours car in together.
Yeah, this is turn 3. And, the shimmy from one side to the other. Oh, there's the contact. Ooh. Yeah.
Was that Sabralekis, I think, going for, or was it Sandak maybe, going for a really small gap there, and you can see Zalgianis pulling off. He'd already taken a lot of damage, a fair bit of damage from the Machete incident as well, and that was really what dropped him outside the top 10. As this is a replay of Bruliak about to be hit in the rear. Oh, Lowe just... He's gonna really regret that, at not just the end of this race, but potentially at the end of this season as well. I'm sure Bruliak definitely regrets it happening because it didn't seem to be his fault whatsoever. But yeah, Laho with that longer stop, now going for the softs. Yeah. He's really got to do something to try and claw ground back because this is going to be a very, very long evening for him as well.
Well, and we are going to have, most likely, we're going to have a change of leader in the World Championship title hunt because Braxok and Schluter in second and third, I think, are only 11 or 12 points behind.
Yes. That's 11-point gap, yeah. So podium changes the destiny of the title. Yeah.
So either of them could come out of the lead in this one and a chance of mediums.
And speaking of them, Janos Braxok is now 15 laps into his soft tyre stint and really, really doing very well on them. He's only less than half a second slower than Granquist currently is on the medium, so he's really, really making these soft tyres work super well.
Brilliant being rolled up here.
Schluter's got him on DRS into turn 1.
As Pascal comes in, but crucially, second place in his hand, so Braxok tucks him behind and hopes to get a big slipstream from the reigning champion in front of him. But yeah, Moyer as well. His new a couple of seconds behind, having pit from the lead mediums now as well. So Mounier is still kind of the net leader once this all plays out at the present moment.
Well, absolutely, yeah, good call. Forgot about that. He's only 12 seconds from the lead, so that's 7 seconds net lead if everybody pulls off a really nice 19-second pit lane transit.
This is Galshayan and his departure from the race into the scenery at turn 2, I suppose. Yeah, he's gone too close to the inside wall, and he decides after that spin, perhaps enough was enough. Yeah, he feels the tires. Doesn't seem totally on board with them. So as he goes into turn 3, is the car unable to cooperate with him? Yeah, there it goes. It snaps, and that's the end of his evening's participation, I'm afraid. Yeah, that's just too much to bear. And he's going to park up exactly like George did. So that's an awful shame for Galshayan for Mission 19 Supernova. And Seba Elekez comes into the pit lane. And he's quite slow. So maybe that's a sign of he's given up. Yeah, he has DNF'd as well. So he realized after pitting it was not worth continuing.
Instant with Zalagianis as well at turn 3 and 4. While this has been going on, Alex Laho, by the way, 1:40.48, very fastest lap of the race on the soft. So he's back ahead of Juho Soppinen, chasing down Sandak for P12. Then, crucially, Grankvist now 7 seconds ahead of Schluter. Braxock is back behind him, and then we've got Moinier only 3 seconds behind Braxock. So basically, almost gaining back a whole pit stop on everybody apart from the top 3 is Moinier at the moment.
Yeah, so Mounier already clear. Certainly Pasquale's the only other driver in the top 10 to have pitted. But Amine Suisi has just boxed as well, so he'll have to try and work his way up back, work his way back up to 12th. But on board from the rear view camera, it's Lucas Murno still defending here from Berliak. Definitely he has brought these tires as far as they can go, I'm sure.
Schluter spun it round in the
Oh, mistake! We've got a mistake from Max Schluter, watch out! Yeah, he's just backed up in time. Oh, he's hit Murno! Oh, that's going to be a significant penalty if he decides to retire from the race. He'll be applied next time out. But yeah, he's rejoined unsafely, and Murno, just like in Melbourne, is the innocent victim here. How unlucky.
I'd love to know how braggable, because that would have happened right in front of it. And there's not a maneuver there we've just seen. So 2 drivers out the front, and one of them the reigning champion. So egg on Schluter's face, I'm afraid.
Super call there, David. Thank you so much for spotting that. And unfortunately, 2 cars that were looking good for significant points, particularly with the World Championship permutations. Oh, it's a cancel section. So he realizes, yeah, he's just got to back up the hill. And then he thinks, yeah, it's ready to go. But no, the gap was immediately filled by Murno's Optimal hosting car. And that's so heartbreaking to have that happen. So watching from his point of view, he will know yellow flags are out here. But he would not have seen whatsoever. Yeah, there was no way he could have seen that coming unless there was an immediate call in his ear to say, watch out. But yeah, that's so unlucky. He has the car behind him, of course. He can't slam on the brakes either. But Mounier, oh, he'll be pleased to have avoided that.
Murno had a little bit less damage to repair than Schluter. Murno is pulling out of pit lane now. Schluter's still on the stands getting some repair. Schluter leaving now. So I guess there's a tiny bit of justice served there that Mark had more damage.
Yeah, so Laho all of a sudden has a route back into the top 10, and unexpectedly the championship contenders P11 and P12, they're on the same compounded tires, and this is a legitimate fight for 11th position. Laho from deep, but it's just a little bit too far to necessarily make that count. But now this is an extraordinary situation, one I've never seen before in the FSR World Championship, to have such huge names, both affected by mistakes, and now they have to fight out for the minor placings, unless, of course, there's more chaos to come. It's only lap 19. Jan Grankvist still to pit, Petar Brulyak still to pit, and Giuseppe Canzonieri, let's give him props here. He's avoided all the carnage, and he's running well before his first pit stop for Valley Esports. So brilliant job, Giuseppe. Keep it up.
Now, I think we might have missed Janos Brakshock has actually pitted and rejoined in 5th place and back on softs again. So Janos is loving the soft, unless my graphic isn't up to date. Yep, looks like he's back on the soft again.
He's going aggressive, isn't he?
Very long on the softs.
Canzonieri now starting to hold them up a little bit here as well. So, actually, to make this strategy work, we'll have to make a lot of overtakes. And first up, Valley in front of him, as you can see, Schluter. He's been taken by Laho down the straight then. So, Alex Laho absolutely flying at the moment to try and make up ground. But yeah, both him and Schluter, for sort of self-inflicted errors, now having to recover to keep to limit the damage to their title hopes. And they've got a lot of underdog runners to clear in front of him, not least Lucas Murno, who of course changed his front wing and has got fresh mediums on. And then we got Sandak and Tucson in 9th and 8th headed on as well. But yeah, Brakshock has got to be lining up Canzonieri here, and he's got to close in that gap to Grankvist, Moynier and Briliac if he wants to challenge the MV teams for the lead here.
It should be pretty straightforward for him to get Canzonieri because he's got fresh softs. He'll have DRS, bit of push to pass. And that's the surprising thing about this track. If you've got the pace, if you've got the good rubber, you get on the gearbox at the exit of turn 16 and you've got them on toast.
On board with Brakshock. But is it pit stop time for Giuseppe? No, he stays out on the mediums for another lap. But Janos Brakshock with the confidence now to attack this race. Knows the championship lead is at stake here, and he has made his pass against Giuseppe. But Pasquale in 6th place, they're looking strong. And Schluter here, he's got to try and make up for whatever time will be penalised from him. So, for example, if he gets the 10-second penalty, then he'll need to push for 20 seconds better off just to minimise the damage. But extraordinary stuff here at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in World Championship in FSR. And Laho has to try and catch up to Murno, but Murno has Nandor Marza for company here. So Marza has pitted.
Also just come out of the pits, yeah.
Fight. Yes, he has just come out of the pit lane. And with the colder tyres, Murno, with the bit between his teeth, makes the fair overtake there and has P9. But he'll hope for Maciej Sandak to into the pits. That'll give him another position. And then Matthew Tucson as well has yet to pit. So there's still a reasonable chance here for Murno to pick up a strong result.
It'd be lovely to see him have a nice clean run from here to home because he has suffered some bad luck, not of his own making, with contacts with errant cars in strange places, both, as you said, in Melbourne and here. And he was driving brilliantly in the opening 10-lap stint here, showing real pace, I think, in 7th. So we'd love to see him get to put a result in on his merits.
Fight Pascal earlier, and Pascal still going in a P6, having really stayed out of trouble. And yeah, he gained a position when Marsa hit when he was getting alongside him as well. So Pascal trying to make the mediums go as long. Him and Canzonieri based on the strategy, trying to get the mediums to go as long as they can. And the problem that Lance Schluter got is that a lot of these guys hit onto fresh tires, come ahead of them, hoping to pull away essentially. But here comes Marsa actually falling behind Murno now into the clutches of Laho. Opens there, squeezes in between him and the pit wall. And is that Schluter making another stop behind him? No, that's Maciej Sandak, sorry. Schluter also coming in along with Tucson.
Yeah, Sandak stopping after a 20-lap stint on the mediums, which is not a long medium stint.
That was a drive-through. I think it was a drive-through for Mark Schluter, sorry.
Oh, right.
He's got the drive-through penalty, yeah. So
must be track limits or something. The race director didn't issue any penalties. I promise.
Even track limit spent in the pit lane in the previous. So one of those. It could be for he went backwards down the racetrack because in the position that he was. In the middle of a very narrow racing line in the castle section, that's sort of the worst position to be spun around. So it's kind of, and if you don't like Schluter, but yeah, either way, still in the race and still could score a couple of points out of this the way things are going. P12 wouldn't be a lot at the present moment, so plenty of work for the round champion to do. But we cut back to Murno, now being passed by Zeuuw, who's really he's been lapping in the 139 low, faster than anybody else on the soft tyre, as in comes Broliak from P3. So Braxok back into the podium positions on these softs.
At the top of the broadcast, Owen and I were chatting about it, and I was prophesying that we're going to see a lot of drama late in the stint on each tyre, because the balance of the car changes so much and it becomes very oversteery as the rears overheat, and potentially that's what caught Mark Schluter out. It's going to catch some more people out as well, because the cars really do get to become a handful very late in the stint on worn tyres, and that's why I'm pretty impressed with, for example, Janis Brakshock, who ran, I think, 17 or 18 laps on his softs. Yeah, 18 laps.
Exactly right.
So plenty of drama to come.
GE Invictus, though, they're looking pretty happy with two cars, hoping to enter the top 10 here. Tucson just behind Zeuuw at the moment. The soft tire that you could play, it's part for Matthew in a little while. Those tires should be very much fresh out of the box. A chance for a double top 10 for G Invictus. They can believe it's possible now. But of course, Schluter, though.
The leader pitting.
Broliak hits the wall out of 16. Leader Grankvist, for the time being, now pits. So Munya returns to his top step. And the question now is, can Brakshock make the overtake? So we're just watching the radar. We can see Brakshock, the wine color, the maroon, not going to be able to overtake Grankvist, so he stays P3 for Automale. But we now we'll see if Broliak can make an overtake on the start-finish straight, as Christian Pasquale continues to defend for what he's got here. Great opportunity for both these cars to finish well. Broliak, though, I sense turn 3, if he can get this turn 2 correct, then yeah, this looks like a slam dunk here if he just keeps his cool. So watching and waiting for the opening on DRS, and he picks the outside line. Very impressive defense there for Pasquale, but not enough. And it is Petar Broliak back into the top 5.
I think against a lot of drivers in the world, that defense from Christian Pasquale would have absolutely worked, covering the inside line on what is one of the most tricky corners on the circuit, really. Looks quite straightforward, but if you don't nail your braking marker, you're into the wall on corner exit. So by inviting Peter Burlak to say, well, if you want it, mate, it's there for you, but you've got to go around the outside of me, a lot of drivers would not have taken that on. So that's the class of Peter Burlak.
Yeah, we saw Matthew Tucson complete a pass around the outside of turn 1 as well. But the joy may be short-lived here, because Mark Schluter, he's put a 140.8 into the timing tower there the last lap. So he's looking very quick. And Zeuuw has the fear of God put into him here. If he can hold back here. Yeah, he's got to block Schluter for as long as he possibly can before the inevitable may occur. Up the hill at the castle section they shall go. Turns 8 through 12 are going to be flashing by them now. Broliak, he remained very quick as well. He'll now get a proper lap in here at 139.8. That's rapid, and with that DRS, you got a purple sector 3 understeer there for Canzonieri, and that could be another case of what we saw a moment ago. The turn 2 setup and the turn 3 overtake. Yeah, it looks a done deal here to me, Ed.
Yeah, there we go. Zeuuw, of course, running very long on the mediums. The pit, 23 laps done so far as we're on lap 24. And same really Pascal. This is Schluter now getting a chance to pick up Zeuuw and doing so very early down the straight. I apologize if I'm breaking up. I'm not really in control of the internet in my house at this point. Zeuuw thinks about going back up the inside, decides against it. But yeah, Schluter back into the top 11, and now with just the sister Invictus Motorsport ground effect teammates of Massa and Tucson to deal with up the road then. And with the pace that he's got, you'd think Matt Tucson might fight a little bit, but probably not too hard against the reigning champion, because this is not really much to be gained in the process. But yeah, Schluter in a sort of similar position to Zeuuw, just got to push like crazy and hope that he can make something happen here. But yeah, I think as we see fastest first sector race for Grankvist, who is starting to push to catch back up to Moynier. Grankvist was also, so he switched to Brackstock strategy effectively.
Yeah, and the top speed column there shows that Grankvist probably had no chances on DRS because his top speed on the start finish or the speed trap was 329 kilometers an hour, whereas everyone else is doing 347 or 360, depending on the range. So yeah, so it's a big swing. So poor old Jan hasn't had a fair chance of DRS at all based off that. Now Schluter, this will be a clear opportunity against Tucson. He's gonna wait his turn here out of 16. 17, you'll barely notice it in these cars. There it goes. Now 18, 19. Should be simple enough. Again, the sparks will definitely be distracting. But now, pick your side, Mark. Yeah, he's gone left. So that'll be the inside of the first corner. It's already over in terms of the DRS. That should already help him through without any further ado. But now, Tucson will have to try and fight back here. Oh, no, he's locked up. A small lock up there, missing the apex. And that should be advantage Schluter. That'll get him nice and clear of the GE Invictus Motorsports car. And then we'll move on to Christian Pasquale. He's hoping to pick off Canzonieri, who's still going on the same set of tires. The Valley eSports car happy to carry on here. Not concerned about a two-stopper, I'll say. This must be a one-stop, to be honest, if he's going halfway.
I forgot Pascal did pit at the end of lap 15, didn't he? So he's on much fresher mediums than Canzonieri ahead of him. Yeah, should barely comfortable pass, and it feels like Canzonieri is just trying to roll the dice by running as long as he has, and him basically in a very vulnerable position.
Yeah, this is the first aspect of going long when everyone else, I believe, will be two-stopping. He's going to suffer down this straight here. Pasquale will have DRS already armed and ready to go. So Canzonieri falls to P6, but he'll know the delta he needs to follow. As David alluded to, 17 seconds for a prime pit stop from entry to exit. That's what he's got to do. So if you calculate it, it's about 47 seconds ideally. So he's hoping to stay ahead of Murno and Marza. That should be his target to maintain track position there, only losing out to Alex Zeuuw. That'll be phenomenal achievement, but it'll be kind of the same story again later in the race when two stoppers pit for another set of tires, and then he'll be trying to nurse his car to the finish. But Meunier, he's still very comfortable out here. He's moved from the soft tires.
I'm not so sure he is, Owen.
Well, yeah,
Look at Grankvist.
Twist. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Taking a whole second a lap out of him at the moment. 139.7.
Yeah, my mistake there, but yeah, certainly with that advantage that he's built up from the first stint on the softs, now he's on mediums. This is definitely where he'll have to buffer that as best he can. So yeah, definitely Grankvist is much quicker. So yeah, this gap that he's built up for himself, it may look comfortable, but yeah, as Ed says, it's not going to last much longer if this form continues for Grankvist.
Yeah, stunning pace from Grankvist, and he's on relatively fresh tyres. I think they're only 2 or 3 laps old, so he should have the upper hand for another nearly 10 laps. So if he can keep pulling that pace, he's going to be very close to Meunier late in the stint.
Yeah, you can tell Backside having been able to undercut Grankvist has about a second behind and is in the 141.2, so starting to sort of try and save these softs, and like he did in the first stint, run really long. He doesn't have to make as many pit stops essentially, whereas Grankvist and Meunier both getting just a little bit more aggressive in the start. You can just see Braxo appearing at the back of there as well. Been about 6 seconds now, so the pressure's on for Meunier. He needs to make sure he doesn't get caught and the Grankvist doesn't get in DRS range of him.
Another half a second or just over it there in Grankvist in just the first sector. So he's really warming to these soft tires. Jonas Brashok, he knows a podium is good enough here to close the gap on Zeuuw right down. May not be enough. Yeah, I think if Zeuuw finishes 7th, and that'll be enough. 9 points should be enough to keep Zeuuw on top of the championship. But Brashok, every point will count in his bid to win championship here for the Formula Sim Racing League. And yeah, there we go. So Zeuuw currently has the championship lead back, but he's got to be careful. It may not
I would
last.
question your maths on that, Owen, because 25 points to win for 7th, get 9. 25 minus 9 is 16, and Braxock is about 11 behind in the championship at the moment. So I think 11 is slightly less than 16.
Yes.
So yeah, he could be looking at a 5-point swing at the moment, but you're right, it's very fragile. Oh no, not for winning, but in fact, you're right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, for Braxock's sake, yes.
Okay,
you're
Moonier,
right.
Yeah,
it's a long way back from Moonier.
It would be exactly 11 points then. They would be equal. They'd be equal.
Absolutely.
I think you called it spot on. Christian Pasquale is definitely on a one-stopper, and what an incredible stint he's got.
Sorry.
Beg your pardon?
Neary's on the one, so I think, because Pascal's already pit onto a new
pardon me.
That's what I missed as well.
I had the wrong one. Yep. Pardon me.
No worries at all.
But 27 laps in, this he's probably got to run 31 laps because I can't see anybody doing more than 20 on the soft. But these next 3 or 4 laps on the medium are going to be the nastiest ones. So if he can manage that, you can see he's picking up a bit of throttle oversteer, exiting corners now. The rears start to get ugly this late in the stint. There's no, mathematically, there's no greater grip loss than on the front right, but it just seems that 30% off the rear is a lot more than 30% off the front on this track for some reason, because of excessive pressure, excessive heat. And once you can't rely on those rears anymore, it gets very, very hairy. But he's doing a fantastic job bringing it around.
So that's helped him a little bit. We get comment speaking Christian Pascal from Ron Squire, team principal of Squire Nation eSports. Says, Christian's calm and collected. That's my brev, he says. Definitely somebody getting support. It's a bit of a shame for Squire Nation eSports. I think we only had one round and they've had both Saracino and Pascal been able to show up, so it's been a little bit one or the other. But both of them definitely got a lot of hype on so far this season. And Pascal, I was watching during the pro race. He was clearly very, very. I was the first person tuning into the stream, so clearly very, very excited and doing a lot of preparations for today. Then they seem to be paying off so far as he's pulling away from Kazuniri quite rapidly to about 5 seconds, but he's about 10 behind Brilliac. So if Pascal wants to finish the podium, it might some intervention that we've already seen in this race, and also we don't know if Zeuuw necessarily going to have the pace to catch him on as well. So lots to play. So now starting to lap that's Soppinen, I think, ahead of them in 40th position, trying to get spots in the FSR World Championship season, being pretty solid, be the first lap down.
Yeah, Zeuuw's just doing what he needs to do. He's on the hard tires, just begging to see the checkered flag, which will get him score in the World Championship. But yeah, we saw briefly on the bottom right of our screens the updated championship standings if the race were to end in this fashion. So Zeuuw does stay on top by 2 points, but Grankvist, if he can win the race, that'll help him immeasurably with his championship ambitions. And Schluter just hoping to stay in the window. There it is again for your viewing pleasure there. So Schluter down to 5th in the championship on current form. Meunier will leapfrog him with this win, but it will swing dramatically if Grankvist were to win it, and then Meunier finishes second. So that'll swing it around significantly as well. So Schluter would love an extra couple of points here off Nandor Marza, and it may just be a matter of time until that overtake is completed. And that'll leave Invictus Motorsports just hanging around, hoping to pick up that 3rd double score of the season after Nandor Marza retired at the Sakhir race. But Tucson has been scoring points in every round so far.
Here we go. He's gaining a lot at the top end here. Is he going to be close enough for Amir? Surely not. And Mars, very much aware of that, knows it's not quite time. See defeat Schluter sort of wiggling at the steering wheel, hoping that Marsa has seen him here, and he's going to get a great burst of DRS. Marsa decides to pull to the inside. Is that a defensive move? I don't think he's getting out the throttle, so here we go. Schluter will have to go the long way around, and I think Marsa knows he was just going to lose time fighting the reigning champion there. He's in his own race against his teammate Tucson, who's on the softer tyre, and he wants to hold on to that position in 10th then. So, yeah, discretion, sometimes the better part of valor, but Schluter gets through without too much of a contest, and that'll mean he's on, instead of 57 points, on 59, but still quite a way off of that championship lead that he would desperately want to be in. So, certainly, he could still recover, but of course, other championship contenders is the one not doing the best in this race, I think it's fair to say. So, Schluter, this may end up being one to forget then. 20 laps to go, and Grankvist within almost 2.5 seconds now of Loic Moynier, but surely the softs are not going to last forever, not going to be able to lap produce these lap times for an infinite period of time then. So Grankvist will have to figure out when he wants to time his next stop, and at some point he will start on the medium, so he frees as many sides from this point on as he wants.
Yeah, Granquist really going for it. Got the bit between his teeth. He's being very aggressive with the apexes, with the curbs, with the sausage curbs, and still pulling about a second a lap. And I think he's about 9 laps in to this this stint on the softs. So he should still be able to be quite aggressively gaining on Mounier for 2 or 3 more laps at least. But certainly he's doing a fantastic job. And I did just wanted to mention, you're talking about Schluter fighting back. I think it's no coincidence, but Alex Zeuuw had a problem, had damage in an incident, had to have a long pit stop and get repairs, and so did Mark Schluter. These guys are champions. They don't press escape and leave the race. They get the car repaired, get back out there, and I think that's the example we want to set for young sim racers out there. There's no point rage quitting. Get back out there, take the challenge on, and do your best to save as many points as you can.
Exactly, David. It's very much a mental game sometimes, as well as necessarily just trying to avoid mistakes. It's about how you pick yourself up after you make them as well. So sometimes the car is too badly amateur, there's say a wheel missing, and you do kind of have to call it quits at that sort of point. But if you can get it repaired and you can sort of continue, then it's always worth just seeing what might happen. And especially if there's more chaos up ahead at a circuit like Baku then, which, as we say, not been on the calendar for 7 years. But yeah, here is Grankvist now getting closer and closer to the RS range of Loic Moynier. And Moynier here may well be feeling just a little bit concerned, because he really doesn't want Grankvist to steal control of the race away from him.
Not at all. So we just saw Giuseppe finally take his pit stop, so he has the freedom
as well.
Soft tires. And now the pit stop as well from Erno and Zeuuw, I should say. Sorry, beg your pardon. So Zeuuw pits again, side by side. Oh, wow, Mark Schluter. That time he got the absolute pinpoint accuracy there. He's ahead of Alex for the time being. So this will be a fun fight for 8th position. Canzonieri, though, is just doing his best now to pull clear. The fear was that Schluter, with the warmer tires, could have slipped by, not a problem. But now Giuseppe looks pretty fast here in the opening sector. So we got the first split time in just a moment before they break for turn 7. There it shall come. Yeah, Giuseppe, personal best, first sector, very impressive. And Jan still able to put in better lap times than leader Mounier. But on board now with Alex Zeuuw, the championship leader. He's got to figure something out here on his fresh set of tires, but Schluter on softs has a bit of counterbalance as well in his favour.
Yeah, that was very bold.
I imagine these guys could be forgiven for thinking, I was expecting to fight you today, but I wasn't expecting to fight you for 8th place.
Yeah, didn't also expect to see Schluter going right outside of Loic, because coming out of the pit on cold tires, Loic so easily accidentally understeered and squeezed Schluter into the wall. But here we go. He's got the run. Schluter not able to escape. His tires 10 laps old, of course. And so they're going to do battle down the straight. The hose going to go round the outside of the ground, man, and steal away 8th place from the German then. So Zeuuw continuing his fight back here, and Schluter, while making a bold move on the outlap for Zeuuw, now he's got mediums up to temperature. He should be a pretty competitive prospect for the rest of this one, as we see Grankvist just outside DRS range. Remember, 17 he needs.
Yeah, he needs just another 0.3 of a second with this slipstream. At least that'll help him in the little extra required, and then he'll have to brake very late into turn 1 without overshooting to make his opportunity count, and it will be within reach now. Personal best purple third sector there for Jan Grankvist, so he's tantalizingly close here, just not quite there yet, but he'll now start to feel the clean slipstream now going to help him close the gap even more, and then it will rebound to some dirty air. So that's the push and pull effect here in motorsports, and there we go. It's going to be so encouraging for Grankvist to have made up this time after Munier on his soft tire stint at the beginning of the race gave him a real boost up the order without any real challengers until now.
Yeah, and also don't forget that just with one eye on the final pit stop, essentially, in comes Pascal. Well, it could be his final stop for me. Then, as we see Lowe now about to pick off
I think Schluter's about to pit. I think he's right over on the left, and he's had 16 or 17 laps on these softs. He's been on these softs ever since his lengthy repair stop. So Schluter into pit lane.
Lowe with the fastest lap as well. So definitely flying 139.28. Look at Moy and Grankvist, just 6 between them as Schluter leaves it's behind the two Invictus Motorsport machines. And I think Zeuuw might just sneak through as well. But great run here, Owen, and going for the lead.
At last, Grankvist gets an opportunity. He's waiting and waiting in this stint to do it. Around the outside he'll go. He has 4 wheels in front already. Just needs to seal the deal on the brakes. Yeah, Apex looks good. Narrowly misses the wall with the right rear suspension. And we have a new leader. Hasn't been the case where the leaders change that often. Since the pit stops, of course. It was just an early stop for Munier to try and make sure this last stint of his will be maximum push. But Jan Grankvist, full credit here for ALM MV. He's taken the lead.
Rackshock pitting. I think he's got to take mediums because if I'm correct, he's done 2 soft stints, 2 long soft stints. Yep. Having mediums fitted. No issues with the pit stop. Copybook pit stop. Rackshock rejoining in 4th place.
Very come to as well. Miles behind. So Brax looks done very well to console what should be for once that pits off of those dots. Ahead of him, all mistake from Sweezy, and gratefully up the inside through 15 goes Schluter. I don't think Sweezy was going to go back out into 16, but he was going to at least swerve and think about it out there. So some bold stuff from the Tunisian, but Schluter, his racing instincts ever sharp as always.
And here's a replay of Maciej Sandak.
Oh,
got some praise in the chat not too long ago, but I'm afraid he just missed that third corner apex. And he had to
lucky he missed Schluter as well.
Yeah, so he was chasing Schluter, but unfortunately that was just a small error. But thankfully the escape road did help him, and he had the room to reverse safely back onto the track. So yeah, still not the end of the world there for Maciej. If he can keep this up, then he will be worthy of points for Severn Arrows. And Soppinen lap down. He's just hoping to nurse the car to the end on those hard tires to make sure nothing can go wrong on him. So mission 19, just hoping to see there Finn score some points.
Yeah, speaking of Finn's, Grankvist starting to pull away from Moynier now. So does Moynier now start to think about making a final stop, presumably for soft tyres? Because neither of them want to pull the trigger too early and just run out of tyres in the last couple of laps. But there's also that temptation to go for the undercut here as well. So, yeah, it could be that we end up, because there's only about 10 laps difference in when they pit. And, of course, Moyer's got over 23-year-old mediums now, and Grankvist has got about 13-lap-old softs as well. So, yeah, we're getting to that point now where it's pick up your mind time.
Yeah, good call. I mean, 15 laps from home, that's easily doable on the soft. But if you want to be super quick, you might want to have a 13-lap stint. And I think, if I recall, Munier only did 13 laps on his opening stint on those softs, but he was brutally quick on them. Speaking of pit stops, I think Peter Burt... Sorry.
It was 13 laps, David. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, brilliant. Speaking of pit stops, I think Peter Burlak, who is ahead of Janos Brakshock on track by 16 seconds. Peter's been on those tyres that he's currently got since lap 21. So he's 14 laps into those, I think they're mediums. Oh no, 14 laps into his softs. So I think we're going to see Peter Burlak will hit quite soon because he's not going to be able to do many more laps on those softs, and he's a very easy medium stint from home and potentially a soft stint from home. Maybe one more lap and he could put on softs. Trying to remember whether he used mediums or not already.
In comes Mounier, and out he comes on those softs then. So I think you're pretty much right then. All of our top runners have used the mediums at least once. Then I think Briliac as well. There we go, softs going on.
Yeah, softs.
So, and Mounier gone for the undercut. Just Grant has surely got to respond and pit for a new set of softs.
It's going to be close. Going to be close on pit exit with Brakshock, and but not so close. Yeah, he got him pretty easily. So Brakshock ahead of Burlak now. Brakshock. Oh, this will be interesting because Brakshock is on mediums, and he's been running long on softs. Burlak is on softs, so we've got a pursuer on soft tyres. Only a couple of seconds between them. This could get quite spicy if Peter turns on the pace on the soft and Janos has got to repel him on the medium. That's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, very much championship leading threat as well. There's his chance to challenge Loho at the end of this then. Of course, Loho P6, so P4 at the moment as Tucson come to his final stop of the softs. Let's back into the top 10.
Pit stop for Matthew Tucson as well. We'll sort him out until the end of the race. He will be lapped though. You can see Grankvist and Mounier. Oh, Grankvist pits actually. Jan Grankvist is in the pits as well. And that'll mean Mounier has a chance to respond here. Can it work out in his favour?
Going to be very close on exit because I think it was 19 seconds when he prior to pulling into pit lane. So it's going to be very, very close between the two of them as Mounier exits turn one.
He's
right there. He's held him off.
Exceptional work there for Grankvist to hang on to the lead. But of course, the tyre temperatures for the time being will be in the Frenchman's favour. Mounier has a chance. And now his teammate, Petar Broliak, is onto the podium as well. Brakshock could not react that time. Oh, a bit of a small slide there. And that could be an opening for Brakshock to get it back. So there we go. Grankvist for the time being has the race lead. But MV Conquest, double podium dreams rest on Brakshock's response on DRS. But the battle for the lead continues unabated here. This is exceptional stuff now. We've got a heck of a finale coming up here in the FSR World Championship category of drivers here. But there we go. Brakshock just has to concede for the time being. But ultimately, they know there is hope if he can push harder at the end before these medium tires can come to their best performance window, and then the soft start to wear off a little bit. There we go.
It looks like Grankvist has managed to critically get outside of DRS range of Loic Mounier on the soft. And I mean, I was very impressed with Mounier's opening stint on the soft. He was brutally quick, but perhaps Grankvist has kept a little bit of push to pass because he's pulled the gap out to 1.2 seconds now. If he can keep Mounier outside of DRS, Grankvist could potentially fight for the victory.
That's a good point, David. Mounier used a bit of push to pass in that opening stint as well to pull the gap that he did to Grankvist in the opening phase of the race then. So it's gone the other way now, and Grankvist crucially holding on. But in terms of Brakshock down to P4, as only sort of got to hope that he's able to push the medium a bit harder and maybe force Briliac into a mistake. But of course, Briliac pitting after him, and it could be a bit of an uphill struggle. He's already about 2 seconds behind him now. And yeah, Grankvist now, it's basically a straight fight between these two, so it could even come down to which of them makes a mistake and which of them doesn't under pressure here. But Grankvist, who is yet to win in FSR incredibly, despite many years of competing here, is now in a brilliant position potentially to change that.
Always a fantastic weekend when we get a brand new first-time winner in a Formula SimRacing World Championship event. So
yeah, we had a new one in Pro as well earlier today. Yes, 11.
We did.
Another NV Conquest driver, funnily enough. But here's Laho. He had another one. Chasing down Christian Pascal for P5. And if I'm not mistaken, Squire Nation Esports best was on P6 by Pascal in Australia. So this would be one better if they can hold on. But Pascal under pressure against the phenomenon that is Alex Laho, who's incredibly quick as this young Frenchman, as he all just wiggles the mediums through turn 6, and he's been at least 6 laps. Pascal has been on the softs since lap 33, lap 34, so they're only about 4 as well. So yeah, it's a pretty even fight, of course, on the slow combat tyre in a similar situation to Bangkok, funnily enough here.
Yeah, very true. And that means that Pascal, his job now is just to figure out how to take these corners appropriately and force Laho to do something drastic to make the overtake. But Squire Nation keeping their fingers crossed for this result. It would be phenomenal after that 6th place, as you mentioned, Ed, previously at Melbourne. And the last, it's a long stretch to get the job done here. Maybe DRS will come into effect this moment. No, he's actually done enough to fend off Laho in this split, but the next one will come thick and fast. There you go. You can see how late Laho is on the brakes there. Absolutely fantastic in the ALM MV, and that should surely make this a fight for the position in a time of Laho's choosing, if he can get the ideal DRS boost. Here we go.
Yeah, not quite close enough. It looks like Pascal set up that Squire Nation Esports car for pretty good top speed and acceleration, and so the yellow and dark red machine fending off the championship leader here. And for Braxo, this is absolutely crucial for him. He has to keep Laho just a little bit further back and to keep get that momentum going in his favour, at least at the present moment, even if he's not going to finish on the podium today.
Christian Pasquale is going to need to be very, very good at soaking up pressure with a determined Alex Laho right on his gearbox.
Pressure. Gotta hang on tight here for this opportunity to go his way.
I must say, Peter Burlak is pulling a bit of a gap on Janis Brakshock. It's out to 7 seconds now. So Burlak flying on the softs. Gives me the impression that Janos was really, really liking the soft tyre a lot. He ran long on the soft, and he was fast on it, and potentially not getting on as well with the medium. I'll stop talking because we've got Laho on Christian Pasquale now.
Yeah, looking very close now, David. Here comes Laho, tucking in behind. He's going to catch him as the DRS opens. He slots out the right-hand side and through. There's a little bit of wall that sort of sticks out, and I feel like a couple of them are risking it around the outside. Speak Laho, threading, just missing the barrier of a cigarette paper, and Pascal now will surely just try and push as much as he can to keep up with it, but fastest driver has found a way through, and Pascal might have to be content with a team best finish of P6 here.
So with 10 laps to go, I was just going to make a quick shout out to the viewers watching this on YouTube. If you're a sim racer, if you're enjoying Formula style cars, even in, for example, the Cody's Sims or any other type of open wheeler sim, if you want to come and get involved in Formula Sim Racing, we currently run 2 divisions. We may expand to 3 divisions next year, depending on sign-ups. And this is where you come to race the very best drivers in the world and have a lot of fun, get better, and see how you measure up. So if you do want to get involved, come and see us in Formula Sim Racing on the Discord or on the website. We generally run a winter series as well at the conclusion of the main season. So that's a great way to meet everybody, get your feet wet and start to understand the procedures and get measured up and maybe get picked up by a team. So if you're liking it, if it's your cup of tea, come and get involved in Formula Sim Racing. We'd love to have you aboard.
Next year we will more real-life accurate F1. Well, I mean, they're changing what the next F1 car is going to be like anyway with the V8 engines coming back, apparently. So,
if they were staying the same as this year, I'd be saying, do we have to?
Yeah, that's the problem, that the current rule set is so unpopular. We didn't delay it because the rule set was that we knew the rule set was going to be unpopular, and we had some sort of sixth sense. We delayed it because we didn't want to have something that felt, or because we did this before when the ground effect cars were introduced. We introduced them about a year before Real F1, and that led to a lot of knock-on issues for the management at the time. And I basically decided to learn from past mistakes and play it a bit more safe and conservative.
Well, and as one of our great modding team said, Robin Pansar said, we can't really create one of those cars yet because we don't know what they're going to do.
Exactly. Well, we kind of know a bit more now.
Yeah.
Which we see on screen. Closing it. Oh, it's pulling off at the castle end. Hopefully,
I hope that's not reliability. Hope it's not
like he's smoking. Maybe something desperate has been hit with what? 7. You turning it, brushes against the wall. Hopefully, it hasn't damaged the suspension too much. So stop, and now goes down on the lead. Maybe he just saw Grankvist coming and wanted to get out of the way there, I suspect. Grankvist sets the fastest lap of the race, by the way. 1:38.6 that last lap around.
Yeah, the replay will give us the full story.
He was a long way ahead, actually. Oh, no,
he's made a mistake. Turn 1 first, yeah.
I think I'm watching US Open and he's pulled off. He's retired to the pits.
Oh, no.
Something severe happening.
So unlucky. Yeah, there we go. It doesn't look like he's trying to get out of people's way. It genuinely looks like the brakes were starting to fail.
Oh yeah, that's brake failure. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and in fact, we talked about that at the top of this broadcast. If the brakes are going to fail, they're going to fail, late in the event, and this track is absolutely punishing on brakes. You're getting temperatures as high as 1,200 degrees. And some teams, for whatever reason I don't understand for the life of me, I can't understand it, are not running maximum cooling because once they get to 1,200 degrees, they cannot dissipate the energy enough and you get terrible amount of brake fade. And
it's going to be
those sorts of
next time as well, David.
Sorry, I missed that.
Montreal next time as well, which is another one with long straights, very heavy braking zones into chicanes.
Yeah, very true. So long straights, really big brake, really big stops, and no sustained corners to take the energy out of the cars. The braking system is taking all the energy out of the car, and not much wing either. So even more punishing than Monza on brake temp. So the wear rate is massive. The brakes are losing something like 0.8 of a centimeter in diameter, not diameter, in thickness. Across even the pro race. So if the teams haven't put in maximum cooling and a thicker set of discs, they are going to have brake failure.
Yeah, and we've just seen a very visual illustration of that for poor US. And bad news, I'm afraid, retiring lap 3 means he's retired 2 laps short of the 9% distance in the race. So he will not be classified in 14th according to we have at the moment, unless we make an exception. But yeah, you got to feel the few a little bit there because they're definitely just trying to stay in the race to score a couple of points, and it's very much not played out that way. I
suppose, David, your point there about the brakes in the chat there, we have Ven 800 just saying, even with the maximum cooling and the maximum disc thickness, you need to lift and coast because after a point, they have a temperature stacking, I believe he said there. So, yeah. That's,
where it sort of stacks on top of each other and it just gets worse and worse if you don't manage it.
Yeah, that is very true as well.
I did not experience that in the pro event. The brake temps were pretty consistent throughout the whole race. But, I'm happy to be corrected on that.
Well, might be a different case in World Championship, of course, with
Maybe.
the longer distance. And with all the greatest of respect, some of them might be a bit harder on the brakes than you, David. Let's put it that way.
I'm really good on the brakes. It's the accelerator I'm no good with.
Okay, fair enough. We'll see a little moment, didn't we? I can't remember when it was, but we'll see it. Yeah. Stream hopefully, I think it might have happened when the stream crashed, so you might go over that one. And it's starting to fall 3.6 seconds behind Grankvist, and has to be said, it looks like Jan, as he just lapsed another back mark, that must be Master negotiating at the minute. Just unable to get through before the castle section, so Master will have to time it well to not obstruct the lead here. Pulls the inside, coming out of 12. And Grankvist should continue on. Just 6 more laps separate him from what would be a historic first victory of his season then. So, and of his career, of course. Grankvist, of course, has finished second on a couple of occasions, both this season, earlier this season, and in the opener, both at Bahrain, funny enough, Bahrain, the last race out, and in 2024 for Super Venturas. We see Lucas Murno has caught back up to Canzonieri, going to the outside into free, and he hits the wall with the rear tyre. Oh, he just needed a little more space, did Murno, and he could not find it. So Canzonieri will hold on to a P7 for the time being, and the Brazilian starting to get a bit frustrated here. Luckily, car seems more or less in one piece, so to survive that one.
Loic Meunier actually tapped the wall at the exit of the super fast right-hander, the final little curve onto the main straight. Meunier had a little bit of a love tap on the wall there. Very, very slight, but a tap nonetheless.
Yeah, so Lucas, I think, you should know by now if the car is operating fully, and it should be. If he's going through these corners left-handers, A-OK, that is telling enough that the car is able to at least behave itself. Yeah, a little wiggle there, that's okay for him. He should manage that. But yeah, job currently going according to plan here as Canzonieri with the unique one-stopper. He's there to be different today, and Murno, after that desperately unlucky collision as Schluter tried to rejoin from the castle section after a spin. And there's the move. Murno back up to 7th place. And, late braking there. Canzonieri just lost a bit of focus. But at least
he nearly did exactly what Laho did to Briliac earlier in the race. So he just got caught out with the DRS and the extra sort of closing speed there that Murno had to brake a lot earlier because he arrived at higher speed. But yeah... And Murno, of course, 3 lap fresher than Canzonieri. So Canzonieri doing very well on this one. He's the only one that's done it, but now starting to feel a little bit of the pain that he's been out there for 13, 12 laps on the fire, and it's very much his best. These 4 laps, it will be quite a job to keep the reigning champion at bay here in the 5.8.
Yeah, it might just be a case of taking it easy now, but of course being mindful that Schluter is coming, depending on what post-race scrutineering will be applied. That could mean that it'd be better off just waiting for that and then seeing if you get your position back anyway. But, Schluter, his first stint, or first sector, he's much quicker than Giuseppe in sector 1. Be more telling now once the overtake is already done. Of course, that lockup definitely influenced things a bit. So sector 2 should be a bit more illuminating. 30.5 for Giuseppe. And across the gap, so Schluter gains another 4/10. So if this form carries on, then there will be a fight on circuit for P8. Otherwise, big field spread here across the grid. So Grankvist just has to stay calm, and he'll finally get that long-awaited victory in the World Championship.
Yeah, of course, there we go. Canzonieri sits at 1:43.4. Actually, now sits at 1:40.4. So, another 3 seconds taken out of, as he actually is very much trying to join the battle as quickly as possible. And it's a matter of can he get for the race ends, essentially. I think, as you said, Canzonieri won't necessarily have very much to fight with him, with the softs having very much given their best. So it could be a little bit of a losing battle unless he's able to keep Schluter behind until the final. Then he might have half a chance if he can get a decent run out of turn 16 keeping him behind. But it could be a very, very marginal finish. It's certainly the closest battle on track at the moment, with Murno starting to pull away ahead of both of them, but a little bit far back from Pascal the Challenger. You see Canzonieri doing a little bit of wall tapping. And again through the castle section. So just the tiniest of touches there, and getting away with it. Near enough. So you sort of got to learn which walls you can hit, which walls you can hit hard, and which walls you can maybe just about brush and get away with. So it's always the case with street circuits that you're always trying to make sure you're losing the least amount of time. You're maximizing what you can gain and get away with, essentially. So, but equally, it can go very, very wrong if you misjudge it, and then you're suddenly spinning over a curb and lighting the rear tires, or crashing into all at high speed. We even saw it for poor Sam Van Loo in the pro race, crashing at high speed 16-17 section where it mistimed the turn, and with the wheel falling over to the other side of the track. So yeah, it can be quite dramatic. Goes wrong.
Schluter is lapping about 3 seconds a lap quicker at the moment than Canzonieri. I mean, it's been a very brave, heroic one-stop stint, but his tyres are going to be absolutely shot now. He's done 18 laps already on these softs, and they are not going to be feeling very good under him now. So Schluter will be smelling blood in the water and really, really going for it.
He's got to go for it. With everything he's got now, every bit counts in terms of building the spirits up for next round in Montreal. So yeah, it's similar enough attributes. Yeah, Montreal there certainly. The chicanes can play that huge part in Canada, so you have to be ready for them. And the hairpin leading up to the back straight is such a significant part of the circuit as well. So learning or taking your lessons on board for that next round will definitely be important, no matter what result has landed your way today. So here we go with Schluter on board. He's closing in. He's got to be lurking in the shadows, ready to strike. If he can get turn 16 right, then yeah, he's given himself the ideal platform to go for it.
Yeah, and I remember, by the way, at the end of Bahrain, Cantoni saying to me, "Oh, well, you know what? It was great and all, but we got no one to fight with." How's it? He said, "We got Schluter all on the back of you with 2 laps to go. Surely Mark can go right around the outside, even before the DRS opens." And indeed, it's a very comfortable in the end, with Canzonieri not got much to fight with on those softs. But yeah, nonetheless, Schluter and Zeuuw, despite both making big errors, fighting as best they can into 5th and 8th respectively.
Yeah, Murnau will be eager just to stay ahead of the world champion in these closing stages now, so just needs to maintain that 4.5 second gap to ensure that he can maximize his result. Brashok, just a case of what might have been. But Petar has used that experience dating back 7 years to his advantage, and he's on the podium again, but it won't be his day. We're barring something truly spectacular. There we go, 2 laps to go for leader Jan Grankvist, who really has been waiting a long time for this opportunity to come his way. He's worked very hard for it, just needs to stay cool for the last 3 minutes of the race.
Yeah, you're not kidding, because he's been driving since 2022 in the World Championship, had so many sort of near misses. I remember, I think one of his very, very first races in 2023, I think it was Spa, he got pole position, or got very on the front row either way, and was very much in the mix for large chunks of that race. As Grankvist nearly brushes the wall again through the castle section again on the inside there. So yeah, cannot afford to throw it away with just only 1 more lap to go then. So yeah, as much as he's done a brilliant job so far, there's just a case of, I really, really don't want to put the curse on Jan here, but he has driven absolutely brilliantly, and if he can do it, I don't think there'll be I was about to say, I don't think there'll be a dry eye in the house, but I think Jan will be certainly got the biggest grin in the whole of Azerbaijan career, that's for sure. But yeah, so it's definitely one that was needed, as well as Jan desperately it does this championship, not just for getting that win under his belt and getting the monkey off his back.
Yeah, it certainly made a difference to Janos Brashok. We know how difficult it was for him to break through that glass ceiling in 2025, but he finally did it at Mexico City, and his results have definitely shone ever since then. He hasn't really faltered. I know Australia was a tough one. That was the season opener, and there was a lot of chaos. So ever since then, Janos has been back on the saddle. But today, Jan Grankvist, he's just about a minute away here. Minute 10, I suppose. Just has to stay cool. The 90-degree right-handers to begin the lap. They look absolutely okay. Meunier, last lap, 139.8. So he is trying, without a doubt, Meunier to win this race. He won't give up until the checkered flag is flown. And we'll get more delta times coming in now. Consistency for Jan, 48 or 43.8. And he is quicker. Munier's lost a bit of time in Sector 1. And the castle section, you have to take that with 100% focus, or else you're going to make a serious error. And he's done so. So almost there, Ed. Big moment in Jan Grankvist's career.
Indeed. Laho, within about 3 seconds now, Braxock, which really shows you the fight back he has had and how difficult this medium stint has been for Braxock by comparison. But I think he might just run out of time to overtake his championship rival. But it's just a long run here now for Jan Grankvist. And, well, the Finn, he's waited and waited for this. And the moment's finally come. He's put in a brilliant performance from second on the grid today to outfox Loic Meunier, to beat him on strategy and on the track itself. So to the line he comes. It's just a few short meters now. And Jan Grankvist is a winner in the Formula SimRacing World Championship. And deservedly so. Meunier spins over the line to take P2. And Briliak will complete an all MV Conquest podium in P3.
Outstanding work here for MV Conquest in their two
Conquest
guises
of
here.
FSR, yeah.
Yes, so got the bragging rights without a doubt here. It's a shame for Zeuuw with that error that tapped Briliak in the back, I think it was, but he has recovered well. So there you have it. Petar Briliak across the line. Another podium here at Baku. Brashok and Zeuuw will complete the top 5 in just a moment's time. So congratulations for Automale getting the P4 here with Brashok. That'll help them in their fight with Ground Effect SimRacing team. So a day to forget for Ground Effect SimRacing team, it must be said. Zeuuw across the line, keeping his championship ambitions on track roughly. I suppose a big result for Jan to close the gap significantly. And Christian Pasquale, Squire Nation, that's brilliant to get another P6 on the board. Murnau, Schluter and Canzonieri, the final drivers on the lead lap. They'll go and meet the checkered flag in a bit of a tandem here. So Canzonieri with the remarkable one-stopper. It was difficult to make that work, but he has completed his race in P9 and he'll go sliding on the entry to turn 1. So well done, everybody, on a fine race here at Baku. And there's the fun for Grankvist going backwards into the barrier up the hill with Meunier.
Poor Schluter's going to feel like he's being made fun of it.
Yeah, it might be a bit of teasing here. So, yeah.
I don't think it's intentional. No,
no, that's not intentional.
Well,
teasing, but
even if they saw what happened, that was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good while ago. Oh well, it should be the post-race cool down. Just get a chance to breathe now. It's been a very long day here, Baku. Well over an hour and a bit of racing today. And there you go, a bit more celebrating, and rightfully so. For Jan Grankvist looking very pleased indeed through that helmet.
Well, Jan is infamously in post-race interviews a bit of a Kimi Raikkonen monosyllabic style character, so this might be the most emotion we get out of him all season. So yeah, let's see when we talk to him. But yeah, certainly going to be very happy man.
I put an invite into the drivers to come and join us.
Well, they're still going to be back to the
they
front,
still
so
have to get back. Yeah.
let's give them that. But
Well, I mean, as soon as they look into, it's quite fun, isn't it, the way they can spin those cars? And by the way, Juho Sopanen did confirm that he lost the brakes. Mark Schluter did not enjoy Baku. He's not had kind words to say about Baku.
Well, blame the community, Mark. That's all I can say on that. You can't blame me this time. like you could at Mexico last season, where I did absolutely pick that track.
It was democratic.
Yeah. I suppose we could have put another German track on, but we decided to put Istanbul on and not enough people voted for that. But yeah, there we go. 13 finishes, so from 18 starters. A little bit of a brutal one, Owen. But yeah, take us through the final results.
Let's round it up with Jan Grankvist's praise and honor there. He gets the victory for ALM MV. He was just about 3 seconds clear of Loic Meunier, who tried the soft tires at the beginning of the race, but eventually it just worked against him in the long term. So P2 for him. Petar Briliak gets another podium here at Baku. So lots of experience coming into his advantage there with a third place finish. Janos Brashok, best of the rest in P4. And then the carnage certainly affected our championship standings. Alex Lahou down to P5 there. I know Bahrain was his least favorite track, but yeah, another P5 for the Frenchman there. Christian Pasquale, great result for 6th place. Lucas Murnau in 7th. You'll know it was not his fault with that collision with Mark Schluter there. So P7 for Murnau, the Brazilian, and then 8th place for the world champion Schluter. A race to forget for him. Giuseppe Canzonieri with that one stop for Valley eSports finishes 9th, and Nandor Marza gets the top 10. And the 3 other drivers that were lapped, but they are classified: Matthew Toussaint, Amine Suisi, and Maciej Sandak. So well done to all those guys for getting to the end of the race despite being lapped.
We have the winner. Sorry, we have the winner in the waiting room if you would like to interview them.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll just say DNFs were Sopnin, Elikez, Gol Cheyenne, Salajanis, and Machete. So hard luck to those guys on a difficult day. But yeah, better luck next time.
I'll bring in the winner first.
Sure thing.
Hi, Jan, can you hear us?
Hello, I can hear you.
Well, you certainly hear plenty of plaudits because you drove absolutely magnificently today. So how does it feel to finally be an FSR World Championship winner?
Yeah, that's a strange one, but yeah, good. It was quite I don't even know what happened around me, but it turned out pace didn't really matter all too much except for trying to beat Loic at the end. But mostly it's just trying to survive these walls.
Yeah, it's definitely a case where the racetrack certainly plays a huge danger to everybody all day long. But yeah, definitely at the start of the race, it looked like Munier's soft tire stint at the beginning looked unassailable. But how did you manage to climb back in?
So I reckon the only reason why I even had a little bit of an advantage at the end was because Loic had to suffer a bit more through traffic, because he had to pit earlier than me, of course, from the soft stint. Otherwise, I think our pace was very much inseparable. And yeah, obviously we knew each other's strategy going into the race, sister teams and all, but we were still racing seriously against each other to get the win all the way till the end. So we were both stressed every single time we passed the castle section, both of us, I reckon. Me especially for the last few laps, but yeah. Good racing by Loic.
Yeah, stunning drive, Jan. That was a very, very strong final stint on the softs, and yeah, I can clearly understand what you're saying. You've got to put all of it on the line every time you go through that castle section, and yeah, brilliantly done. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
No questions for me, Jan. Just well done. Been waiting since 2022 for you to get that win. So brilliant. And yeah, best of luck for the rest of the championship.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. Yeah, I recognise you've always been there to see exactly what's going on with me in FSR from those days. It's fun. I appreciate it.
Well, it's only fair I watch you climb the top step for the first time, as well as the long road to get there. So you deserve it. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'll bring the second place getter into the interview room, Loic Munier.
Hey, Loic, can you hear us?
Hello. Yeah, I can.
Very good. So it's a P2 in the end for you today. Certainly after Bahrain went against you, you must feel like this is your season back on course. So tell us about your first stint. That was very exciting to see a breakaway on the soft tire. So how did that plan out for you?
Yeah, we knew the soft was a pretty good tire, so we wanted to maximize it. I decided to go with it at the start since I had pole somehow. So no one could hold me up and make as much of a gap as possible before the pit stops. Unfortunately, had too much traffic on my medium stint at the start, and ended up losing the strategy that way. But it's fine. The car was really good. We've made a great breakthrough in it since the Bahrain struggle. because even if I retired in Bahrain, the pace wasn't great to start with. So yeah, got rid of the technical issues that I encountered last time out. We fixed the car. Just a driver left to fix, but that could take a bit longer. And the back markers could also take a while to fix as well. Some were terrible.
Sure. Anyway, the fight for the position. It was a case, Jan did pick you off eventually using that overspeed, but towards the end, I suppose you're pushing with everything you had to try and make it a closer race. Was a case where you really wanted to go for it at the end?
Yeah, then when Jan started catching up the time I had gained early on, it was clear that it was going to be a very complicated battle. So the undercut was on the soft at the end was the only thing I could do, and it didn't work. So after that, it was just sitting behind second place, not brush the tires too hard, get through the traffic, as I mentioned, and then finish the race. So props to Jan, deserves it. Great race, and I'll take +1 on the next time.
Congratulations, Loic, on a fantastic result, and that was a stunning first stint. I'm just wondering if you're going to share the setup with us that you've had a breakthrough with.
I'll speak about it with the team. Maybe we can make you a discount.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
just a fun fact for David, I started getting into rFactor and building setups on my own with his guides that were made a very long time ago.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah. And it started from here. Then I learned a lot in different areas, but you were my starting point, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, that does. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
It's only a one-way arrangement, it seems, historically. But anyway, congrats on P2, Loic. It definitely seems you are racking up a couple of pole positions in a row now, which is fantastic to see. My question is about the next round at Montreal, and do you think that's going to be another strong one for you?
I hope so. Definitely not going to be a weak one for sure.
Wasn't it where you won your first FSR Academy race a couple of years back?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make that happen again.
Yeah, I seem to remember you doing very well at saving time. So let's see if history can repeat itself some years in advance. Anyway, thanks for talking to us, Loic, and yeah, well done on yet another podium finish. I believe you might be. Well, actually, I think you and Petter are neck and neck at the moment, but I believe you're sort of either. Oh, there we go. We've got the standings right in front of us. Thank you, Thomas. There we go. So we have got like P6, exactly where you were getting into this one, but you're a lot closer. You've got Schluter 2 points ahead of you, and then Petter 3 points ahead of you. So it's all to play for.
Okay, thanks.
There we go. Fair enough.
We'll see you in Canada.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Now I'm noticing we've got Alex Zeuuw in the waiting room as well, who was the World Championship leader coming into this round. Is he still the leader?
Yeah,
by 2 points exactly.
All right, we better bring. I think that deserves an invite into the commentary booth. We'll bring him in.
Sure.
Hello, Alex. Can you hear us? Hello. Very good.
Loud and clear.
Excellent. So I suppose after Bahrain, you got your least favorite track out of the way. Baku had a lot of tribulations for you, as unfortunately you had that collision with Petar in your fight to try and get onto the podium. So shall we get the bad news out of the way? Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. Well, hello guys. Good evening.
Good evening, Alex.
I don't know what to say. I'm quite tired today. I came back really late home as well. I wasn't supposed to because of MotoGP in Le Mans. I was basically stuck in the city, so I had like 20 minutes to get back into the groove because I time to eat dinner as well. 20 minutes later, it was already practice. So yeah.
Gosh.
Lack of prep for this one. Yeah, Quali just bottled the lap every time because the lap usually would have been quicker than Loic normally, and then I just got like RNG curb on the caster section, so I hit the wall pretty hard. That was before the Burlack incident, by the way. So I was gonna go repair anyway. That was 38 seconds of damage And
I thought it was
yeah.
40, but I'm happy I was within 2
yeah,
seconds.
Well, I wanted to give you my compliments on the fact that you stayed in there, you got your damage repaired, you came back out and you fought really, really hard, and in the end, at least earned some decent points. So, well done for fighting on.
thank you. I mean, that's better than I could ask for anyway. Like P5 after this, yeah, I'll take it definitely.
Yeah, that was
I
a great
will
result.
take it.
Great result, all considered. What do you think of Montreal? Do you like Montreal? Obviously, you speak the language, although the French Canadians are a bit different to French. The Canadians speak French a bit differently to the French people, don't they?
Aye, aye. Fake French people.
Oh,
Oh, don't be
We won't
insulting the
tell them
people of
that on the.
Quebec.
It's not an insult. It's just they're not true French people. They don't really speak
they
the
think they're
language.
greater than the French
Ooh.
people. So,
Yeah.
it's a bit
Ignore him, ladies and gentlemen. He's just teasing.
He's delusional.
Carter McCollman listening to this be like, ooh.
Mm,
No French Canadians were harmed in this production.
yes, yes.
So no faults on the track itself, Alex. Just the people who live there.
I mean, I guess I'm decent there, but I think like Loic's gonna be killing everyone there. So yeah,
Yeah.
GG's. GG's. We're gonna wait Silverstone and Spa for me to do something.
I can see who voted Silverstone in the community vote then, apart from everybody else as well as you. But yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. We will win the rest of the rounds. There's 5 rounds to go. 6 actually.
6.
Yeah, that's 5 more wins and 1 podium.
Well, that would be a good result.
Yeah, it would be incredible if you managed to pull it off. Yeah, it'd be above Schluter's win count from last year.
Yeah. I mean, we'll try. I will try myself to have better prep for the rounds because it was kind of messy.
Ooh, I think we can relate on the broadcast side a little bit, but there we go. We got through it in the end, and so too did you, Alex. So congrats on getting a few more points for your challenge. And yeah, let's hope, well, not a few more points, 12 whole points, which is not a small number. So yeah. No, well,
not bad.
Not bad for 20 minutes of practice.
Not bad. I mean, not exactly 20 minutes, but just to get back in the groove because I did some practice a few days prior.
Of course, yeah. And there's all your other racing commitments as well, which we've got to respect too. So thank you very much for talking to us, Alex. And best of luck for Canada on the 31st of May in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, there's going to be Champions League as well, like a day before this, before Canada. So we can finally
I mean, today was Mother's Day in, I believe, Europe and the US. So
yeah.
Not in the UK, though.
No, not Ireland either.
But
all
yeah,
right.
we'll see.
Have all the best to all the mothers out there, I guess. But anyway, thank you and have a good night.
Yes, you guys too. Oh my god.
Yeah, see us on Thursday, don't worry.
No, I'm tired, that's why. Yeah, have a good night, guys, and see you around.
Thanks, Alex, and thanks for racing.
Thanks.
There we go. Got 3 nominees.
No sign of Brilliac, so I think that's it.
That's a shame. Would love to see what Petar had to say using his knowledge from 2019 heading into today. But yeah, he got the job done. Another podium,
isn't he? 4th in the points. Only
not bad.
He's only about 14 off Lahoo, and yeah, we've got quite a few challenges now. It's tightening up.
Yeah, it's definitely brewing very, very nicely indeed. Last season it was a case of Ruben Machete was the driver in form at this stage last year, but then when I got the call to study the British highlights round 5, that was his first DNF, and then it went totally wrong on him. So hopefully this year will go better for Ruben. Of course, it was not true for him today. He did have that retirement with the connection failure, or disconnection, I should say. But yeah, hopefully we'll see the best of Machete and everyone else as well from next round onwards. So I think now's a good time to wrap it up. So Thomas Lenz helped out on short notice, so we appreciate that on the broadcast cameras. So 31st of May, not too long to wait, just another 3 weeks. That's not too bad. Yeah, thanks so much, and hopefully the preparations for that round with a little extra time to think about it will go according to plan. But yeah, for myself, Owen Harmon, Ed Hunter as well, you came in after your original plans didn't work out. So thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate the help
No
on your
worries.
double stint. Really, really good job.
No worries. It's a small price compared to the drivers have to. It's a small price to pay,
Mhm.
and yeah, anything I can do to help the series, I will because I'm the president.
Yes, makes sense. And lastly, there, David, thank you very much as well for your insights and helping along with keeping the sessions ticking over. So I know you also had the driving duties as well in pro. So thank you so much for your double stint as well.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. It was really good fun and just awesome to see a new winner in the series lift themselves up out of the pack. So fabulous to see.
It's always a wonderful feeling to catch someone's fantastic moments for the very first time when their dreams are realized for the first time. And that's the truth for Jan Grankvist waiting so long to win a World Championship race. So great to have seen him celebrate that achievement. So lastly, of course, the YouTube viewers, thank you everybody for tuning in live and interacting with the chat. So from myself, Owen Harmon, it's thank you and good night.